Hello and welcome back. What we have done so far is that we have launched the Django server, but we haven't actually created any applications yet. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing today, creating a new project where we will build an Asian tours agency management system using Django. This application, by the way, will help us manage tours, destinations, and bookings across Asia. So let's dive in and set up our project. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to go to the location where I want to create my project. And that's going to be inside Listen to Django app. So I'm going to cd to that, or to change directory to that folder. And then I want to activate the virtual environment. Now, we have discussed the last time that virtual environment is very important. So in order to activate my virtual environment, I will do pip-env shell. Okay, you can see that it successfully created virtual environment. Now we can easily install any third-party libraries inside our project without worrying too much whether this dependency is going to be mixed up in the global file system or not. That's one of the best practices in Django and in projects management in general. And if you will open listen to, you will find that pip file has been created. This is very similar to config.json or cargo.toml. Basically, it's a file that keeps all of your configuration inside, all of the dependencies, the packages that you want to install, your Python version, for example, and so on. So that's very important, and it's not a good idea to touch that. It's auto-generated and we'll keep it this way. So I'm going to shut it for now, and I'm maximizing the integrated terminal. Next, I want to pip-env install Django, which means that I'm going to install Django only inside my virtual environment. So I will type this command, pip-env install Django. Fantastic. Now with that out of the way, let's go ahead and start creating our project. To do that, like we have seen the last time, we need to use the Django admin command tool. So I will say Django admin. Then the command is start project, followed by the name of the project that you want to create. And I'm gonna call that World Tour. That's going to be our project. Inside my project, I want to create an application. So I will need to cd to that, or change directory to that folder, World Tour. And inside World Tour, you can create as many applications as you want. But for the sake of simplicity, we're going to create only one application, and we'll attempt to render an HTML page on the browser. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Take a look here. Inside World Tour, you'll find our manage.py. Remember, it's crucial not to tamper with manage.py. The manage.py file in this case is going to help us creating our application. So the command to create our application will be python manage.py start app, followed by the name of the application. I'm going to call our application Asia Tours Agency. This Asia Tours Agency right here is going to handle all of the operations related to Asian tours. You can create African tours, you can create European tours, American tours, you can create as many applications as you want. Now, let me give you a brief description of each file inside our application. The first file is init.py, and as you can see, it's an empty file. This is a Python way to treat a directory as a package. And it's okay if it's empty, like in this case, and it's used basically to import the app modules elsewhere in your Django project. This file right here is used to register your app's models with Django's admin panel. So by registering your models here, Django is going to provide a user-friendly interface to interact with the data model directly from the admin interface. And don't worry, there is a whole chapter dedicated to the Django admin interface. The next file we have in our folder is apps.py. This file contains a configuration class for your application. As you can see, it's called Asia Tours Agency config. And the main parameter, or the main input here, is app config that we have imported from django.apps. And notice on line number 6, the name of the application is Asia Tours Agency, and exactly the name of our folder here. And actually, each Django application has this configuration class, and the reason simply is to store each application's specific settings in that file. So for example, this class is particularly useful for pluggable applications, because it allows them to specify metadata or configuration hooks. And after showing you the rest of the files, I will need to get back to this file to explain to you a very important configuration step that we need to take before running our server. Now, models.py is one of the most important files inside your application. So here you can define the data models for your app. Basically, each class in models.py file represents a database table, and the attributes of the classes represent database fields. So that's the file through which we're going to create our database essentially. Next we have tests.py, and tests.py simply is used for writing unit tests for your application's functionality. And the last file in our applications folder is views.py. Now, views.py handles the request response logic for your application. If you recall from our first lesson, the MVT architecture, the model view template architecture, the view in the architecture is represented by views.py file. So you can define your functions or classes here, and these functions or classes will receive web requests and return web responses. So views are going to access the data needed to satisfy the requests via the models.py. And then it's going to delegate formatting to the templates. And that's why, if you remember in our first lesson, the diagram showed view model template and not MVT. But that really doesn't matter. The most important thing here is that you understand the relation between views, models, and templates when we're going to create templates folder. That's all for the files, but be careful that we have a folder that we haven't discovered yet. It's called migrations. So migrations folder contains the migrations files for your application. Migrations simply are the way how Django stores changes to your models, and thus your database schema, of course, because we said that models.py is essentially your database. And in the next lesson, I'm going to show you how to apply migrations. But for now, you need to understand that each migration file here is timestamped and contains details about the changes being made to the database. Now that you've been introduced to each component of your application, let's go again to the apps.py file. Now, I told you that apps.py is very important because we will need to link inside our project in settings.py. We need to add the name of our application. That's the name of our application. So there are two ways to store the name of the application in settings.py. So let me close the integrated terminal. In settings.py, you will need to go to installed apps. In installed apps, and it doesn't matter if you will enter it at the top or at the bottom of the list. Doesn't matter. All right. So I'm going to add it actually at the bottom of the installed apps list. What you need to add is simply the name of your application, and the name is Asia Tours Agency. So in single quotes, you will type Asia Tours Agency. That is one way to do it. If you will go again to apps.py, you will need to access apps.py, access the Asia Tours Agency config class. That's the proper way to do it. Anyways, if you will leave it like that, it's going to be fine, but I prefer to show you the proper way. So you can do apps dot and the name of the class, which was, let's get back to apps. I'm going to copy this, get back to settings, and paste that here. This way, Django knows that your application is already inside the installed apps. All right, so I will do Control S to save, and I'm going to close that tab, close that. Now we need to go to views.py inside our application. So inside views.py, I need to import a very important function. The function is HTTP response. So when the client will send the HTTP request to the server requesting data, the server is going to send an HTTP response, and when the client will receive the response, the page is going to be rendered. So I will need from Django.http to import the HTTP response. Next up, I want to create a function, and I'm going to call it index. The index is going to take the request. Whether the request is get, post, put, delete, the HTTP requests are more than those four, but these are the four most common. A very important note here, if you're not going to define your HTTP request, by default the request is a GET request. So sending a request to fetch data or retrieve data and rendering them on the page. So this function simply is going to return HTTP response with the string that we want to render on the page. So HTTP response is going to, let's say for instance, Asia Tours Agency, right? That's what we want to render on the page. Traditionally, that's not the proper way because we need to create templates folder. Inside it, we need to create index.html. We need to write HTML with the Django template language. And don't worry, we're going to do that, but not in this lesson. So simply we typed Asia Tours Agency. Next, we need to handle the URL routing. So the routing here is essential. We will need to create a urls.py. Notice that we have a urls.py file down here. This is the main urls.py for the project. We will need to create manually a urls.py on the application's level. So all in all, we will have more than urls file. If you have more than an application, you will need to create in each application a urls.py file. So let me actually create that here, urls.py. So what I want is from django.urls to import path. And also I want from the current directory, I want to import views.py because I will need to map to that index function. And that index function returns HTTP response with the Asia Tours Agency to be rendered on the page. All right, so let's get back here. From the current directory, I want to import views. So the next thing that I want is to define a list of URL patterns. And this is simply a list for all of the URLs that the user wants to navigate to, all of the routes that are going to be, available in our application. So I'm going to define that by typing URL patterns, and that's immediately going to open an empty list. Inside that empty list, we'll have different paths. So the path here, which we have imported from django.urls, inside that path, I will need two arguments. As you can see here, we have a route and we have a view. So those are the two main arguments for that path function. The first argument is the route. The route I wanted initially to be empty route. So simply you will enter an empty string. And the second argument is the view. Now the view, we said that we want the views.index. That's why we have imported it. Again, we want to go to views.py and we want to access the index function to trigger it, to invoke it in order to return the HTTP response to render Asia Tours Agency on the web browser. Fantastic! With our URLs and views set up, it's time to wire these into the main World Tour project to render our application. So I will need to go to urls.py file, that's the project's level, right? Because we said we have two URLs. So this one here is very similar, right? It has path, okay. The other one doesn't have admin, but it has path, right? And path is a function that is used inside the URL patterns. So for the first path right here, this is very important. This is the path for the admin dashboard. And we're going to explore the admin dashboard in a separate lesson. The second path that we want to create is actually the path that includes the Asia Tours Agency application where we can access the urls.py. And why we want to access the urls.py? Because we have the URL patterns. These URL patterns have views.index. The views.index goes to views, and inside views we have the function that's going to be triggered to return an HTTP response with the message that we want to render. All right, so let's have the second path. This path right here again is going to be on empty route, and the views here is going to include, and inside single quotes, I want the Asia Tours Agency application, and I want to access the urls.py file. Now notice that Django is complaining here, it doesn't know what is include. That's simply because I will need to import it. So you can import include function from django.urls. Now the moment that I hit Ctrl S to save the changes, there is db.sqlite3 that has been auto-generated in the World Tour project. Now let me close the Explorer by hitting Ctrl B. Let me open the integrated terminal by hitting Ctrl tilde. And you need to make sure before running the server that you are in the right folder, where you have your manage.py file. Essentially, manage.py file is going to be responsible for running our server. So to run our server, simply we'll say python manage.py run server. And we have our server running on the localhost port 8000. All right, so for now I will press Control and click on that link. And there we go, Asia Tours Agency. Now, if you will take a look to the inspector, you'll find that this is an HTML page with HTML tags, with head, with body tags, but it doesn't look like it's a proper HTML page. And that's simply because we are rendering a string, we are rendering text. What you would want to do is to create templates folder. Inside the templates folder, you will have your index.html, which is going to play the role of the home page, and eventually you can create other HTML pages, right? That's going to play the role of different routes. All right, so we have our agency up and running. So in the next time, we will dive deeper into expanding our agency by talking about databases and migrations and how we can add tours to our database and display them in the shell and also on the browser. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.